Alright, so I'm doing a quick video here showcasing some of the things that I've bought over the last sort of 8 weeks or so. Maybe slightly longer than that, maybe about 10 weeks. It's not everything that I've bought, but it's the majority. I am still waiting for a few things to come through the mail, but rather than wait for those to trickle in, I thought I'd just get started with it now and show what I've got already. First thing is something that I first learnt about from a slasher review site called Vegan Voorhees or Hudson Lee. I'm not sure what the actual official name is, but very good slasher review website. And I came across this one on there about 6 months back, 12 Deaths of Christmas. Found it in CEX recently, which is a kind of second-hand shop here in the UK for like DVDs, video games, that kind of thing. Thought I'd give it a go. I probably haven't watched most of these yet, by the way. I have watched a few, but not most of them. I've yet to watch. This is the case with this one. I'll probably wait until Christmas time to watch this, so it's got to wait another 7 months or so yet. But I don't think it's supposed to be very good, but we'll give it a go. That's the back, by the way. So that's one. This second one is also one that I learned about from that website that I mentioned, the Vegan Voorhees Hudson Lee thing. Braxton Butcher. This was a more recent review that he did on that website. He sounded pretty good, so I thought I'd pick it up. I believe it's a Northern Ireland slasher, so I guess we don't get too many slasher films out of Ireland or indeed Northern Ireland, so that alone makes it kind of interesting, I guess. It's supposed to be pretty good though, from what he said. So I've also read some other reviews and it's mainly positive, so hopefully that should be a good one. Okay, next one is an older one, Alone in the Dark. You're probably familiar with this one, pretty well known, but the DVD can be kind of expensive, so I found this at a pretty good price, so I thought I'd snap it up while I saw it pretty cheap. So that's that one. I'm not really going to say much about these, just a quick sort of showcase really. This is a Blu Ray. This is Dead in 3 Days 2, which I bought recently from Austria, which is the sequel to this film. If you're not familiar with the first one, that's Dead in 3 Days. This is the sequel. I kind of put off buying this one for quite a long time because I had heard that it didn't actually come with English subtitles. It's an Austrian film that has German language. But on closer inspection, after further investigation, I did read that this did indeed have English subtitles, or at least it says that it does on the back of the box. So hopefully that proves to be the case. I guess the proof will be in the pudding when I watch it very soon. I do intend to do written reviews, for both the Dead in 3 Days and this sequel on my website very soon. So I'll be watching. I've already watched Dead in 3 Days some time back. I bought that ages ago. But this one I'm going to watch over the next couple of days. So hopefully it does indeed have the English subtitles. Otherwise I'll have wasted my money. By the way, if you want to see, the next one by the way is Don't Hang Up, which I just picked up from a supermarket here called Asda, which is, I saw it really cheap. I don't really know much about it. I'm guessing with that 15 certificate it's going to be kind of tame, but I saw it really cheap, so I thought I'd pick it up. By the way, if you want to see video reviews for any of these, let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do. They will all get written reviews at some point, probably over on my website, but if you want to see actually a video review here on YouTube, then as I say, let me know in the comments. Next one is Kids Go to the Woods, Kids Get Dead, which is kind of a comedy slasher, I believe. The only reason that I bought this one, it's been on my radar for a while, but the reason I picked it up recently is because I've been looking for the sequel, because I've heard the sequel is quite rare and I've not been able to find it for ages. But it's recently become available on Amazon, so I snapped this one up, and of course I couldn't get this one without buying the first one, so that's why I got the original as well. But this one has been pretty rare. It's, as I say, recently become available on Amazon once again, so I picked it up while it was available, but it was quite hard to find for a long time, and it was one of the ones that I was trying to find and just couldn't find it anywhere. So it's quite sought after for me, so I was pleased to see it finally on Amazon once more. This next one is Havoc Playing with Death, which is the third film in the Playing with Dolls franchise, which also might be known as Metal Face, possibly in the States. Unfortunately, this is a German release, which I believe has a lot of the gore cut from it, but it's the only way I could find it, so I had to make do with the German one. Unfortunately, hopefully it's not too butchered by the censorship, but only way that I could find it in a physical hard copy is from buying it from Germany, so I had to go with that. This next one, another Blu Ray from Vinegar Syndrome, I believe, Disconnected, kind of an obscure slasher film from the 80s. I think it might be around 1984, something like that. Don't really know much about this one. It's supposed to be quite bizarre, quite weird, but hopefully it proves to be a good watch. I can show you take the slipcase off there. You might be more familiar with that cover. That's, I believe, the original artwork that you might have possibly have seen in the past if you don't recognise the main cover from the slipcase. This one is one of the few that I actually have watched, Ghost of Camp Blood, the 9th film in the Camp Blood franchise. Watched it recently. I thought it was pretty dreadful. I'll have a written review for this coming up at some point on my website. I intend to review all the Camp Blood films. I've already done the first one. 8 more to go. This was really bad, really bad, but surprisingly not the worst film in the franchise. There are some ones that are even worse than this, but this one was pretty awful. Next one that I've watched again. I've already seen this one, but I didn't really like it much either. It's kind of a, I believe it's a Spanish film. I can't recall exactly what country it's from now. I think it's Spain. Apologies if that's wrong. But didn't really like it that much. It's more of a giallo, or not sure how you pronounce that. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Than it is a slasher, but it's certainly got some slasher elements. I didn't really enjoy it that much, to be honest. Bit of a letdown. It's got some good reviews, as you can probably see there from the star ratings, and I've read some good things, but it didn't really do it for me. Bit of a disappointment. This next one, again, I have seen it, so there's a few in a row here that I've actually seen. I picked this one up really recently. It's probably my most recent pickup, or one of my most recent. Seen it a good while back and reviewed it on my website. Quite liked it. I think I gave it about a 6 out of 10, which is a decent score. So yeah, it's pretty good. Kind of a supernatural slasher. Pretty solid, pretty decent. This next one's fairly obscure, Mr. Ice Cream Man. I have read actually that this version is actually slightly cut, and it's not as long as the standard version. It does say 85 minutes running time on the back of the box here, but I believe it might possibly be slightly shorter than that, more like 70 minutes. So hopefully that's not the case. But if it is indeed cut, I don't believe it's just a gore either, but it's like lengthy dialogue scenes too, apparently. So really hope it's not cut, because I'm going to be missing out on quite a large part of the film if that proves to be the case. So hopefully I've been misinformed about that. But the reason I bought this copy is because it was quite cheap. I found it for a good price, and the version that's definitely not cut goes for really high prices. I didn't really want to pay that, so I just went with this cheaper version. But even this version goes for quite high prices too, but not quite as high as the alternate version. But I just found this one at a good price, so I thought I'd pick it up. Next one, again, very obscure, Slaughter Drive. You probably maybe not heard of this one. Again, one that I've actually seen. I've actually reviewed it recently on my website. Again, I didn't really like it that much. It was okay for a low budget thing. It just certainly had some positives to it, but overall it was a bit of a drag. Can't say too many good things about it, but it wasn't terrible. Next one, a much older one, Return of the Boogeyman. Quite hard to come by now in kind of the stand-alone version, as you see here. I know that you can get this package with the first Boogeyman for a much cheaper price than what I paid for this probably, but I prefer to get things kind of stand-alone versions as opposed to kind of multi-packs and that kind of thing, which I don't really like. So I went with this version, and I already have the original Boogeyman on Blu Ray anyway, so I didn't want to buy it a second time just for this. And I could buy this in its individual format. It's got quite a weird case actually, if I can get it out. Kind of like, it's got this obviously this cardboard slip case, and then it's got kind of like more like a music CD or a laser disc kind of case to it. That's kind of weird. Haven't got any more like that. It's a first for me. Surprised when I found it like that. Next one, Santa's Sleigh. Don't really know much about this one. Just picked it up in CEX once again because I saw it cheap. Stars Bill Goldberg, obviously, as you can see there on the lettering, the text. I am a wrestling fan, so I'd be kind of intrigued to see how Bill Goldberg does. I'm not a Bill Goldberg fan so much, but I am a wrestling fan, so I guess it'd be interesting to see him in this, but don't know much about that one. I'll probably save it like with the 12 Days of Christmas. I'll probably save it till December time. So I'll be waiting quite a while for me to watch that one. Next one is my Super Psycho Sweet 16 2. Haven't watched any of these yet. There's obviously, well, not obviously, but there's 3 films in the franchise. I've got this one and the first one, yet to buy the third, but I'll pick that up at some point. Haven't watched any of them yet, but I have read a lot of good things, so looking forward to watching it at some point in the future. Looking forward to checking it out. I think it will be right up my street. I suspect I'm going to really like this franchise, so certainly looking forward to it. And the last one, Mr. Jingles, I bought from Australia. This is kind of a franchise as well that you may not have heard of, quite an obscure franchise. I do have the sequel to this one, Jingles the Clown, which I might showcase in a future video because that's kind of a rare one. Possibly might do a rare pickups video, or like rare video or DVDs, sorry, from my collection. And if so, that one might feature. But this is the first one, which is possibly a sequel to Grim Weekend or Serial Insane Clown Killer. I'm not sure. Possibly might be. So it could be the second one in the franchise, possibly. I'm not sure, but it's certainly got a sequel to it anyway, which I've already got, like I said. But don't know much about it. It's supposed to be kind of bad. I've got quite a lot of bad reviews, but from the trailer, I thought it looked pretty good. So hopefully, perhaps it could surprise me. We'll have to see. But anyway, that's the last one. Thanks for watching, and bye. Goodbye.